Family, what's good? Today we're doing a reaction video on death row at San Quentin State Prison in California. It's a really short video, so we're going to go ahead and check it out.
I'm in here for killing another gang member. I shot him in the back of the head.
In my case, I killed another inmate, and it was either me or him.
For a kidnap for ransom, I killed my cellie.
California's most dangerous men get sent here.
What's good, man? It's your boy E.I. the King, and this is the Incarceration Podcast, where I talk about prison, pre, post, and present, how everything that I experienced throughout my incarceration has forever changed my life. This is the Incarceration.
All right, good afternoon. This is State of Florida versus Stephen Testo with multiple cases before the court.
Forever Convict family, listen, we are on a journey to 50,000 subs. We are over halfway there. So if you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Share this channel with anybody who enjoys prison content. And if you don't know my story, I've done over 12 years in prison. And all throughout my incarceration on this channel, I share the crazy, funny, goofy, weird prison stories, as well as interviewing other convicts and sharing their stories as well. But most importantly, we highlight the redemptive stories of convicts coming home, leaving their past lifestyle of crime, and now living successfully in society.
San Quentin houses America's largest death row. They rarely allow cameras onto the condemned block.
What are you guys doing?
But Sky News has been given access. To be here is to meet California's most notorious. They are among society's most segregated.
I don't think lions and tigers should be locked up like this.
Here, everyone has a story.
Is this to like the newspaper or something?
A dark one.
Coming out!
Like Robert Galvin. He was serving life for kidnap and then killed his cellmate, or cellie, so he could be sent to death row in search of a lawyer.
I killed my cellie. That's the only way I was going to be able to get back into court, to do something like that.
Yeah, you know, stop them.
Yeah.
And
Now I got a good lawyer. Now I got an appeal.
Here, the death row prisoner lives in a cell 4 feet by 10. They're allowed out 20 hours a week, but only after a strip search, in handcuffs, and watched constantly by armed patrol.
Death row, it's
Let me go ahead and pause it real quick. Man, one thing about death row, as I said at the beginning, man, it's super rare that you see any death row footage, and especially like interviews with inmates and things like that. It's just because, man, they restrict all media access. And if you haven't seen my video, went viral on YouTube. It was a death row event at Mississippi State Prison, Parchman. So I was blessed to be able to go there. The ministry event was fire, and we heard a lot of great, dope stories of the men who were incarcerated there on death row. And, you know, people were able to see a different side of them despite what they were charged with and the transformation that's taking place in their lives throughout their incarceration. But the reason why I say all that is because it's very rare you see genuine, true death row videos on YouTube, is because the media access is so strict. And I've actually been to San Quentin. I was just there once. I went there to go do an interview with some guys who are incarcerated there.
Unashamed about all that time you did? Go ahead and grab your Forever Convict tee, where we're unashamed to share how our incarceration is what God chose to use to radically transform our life. And even though society may deem us as convicts, I'm not ashamed of what God used throughout that season of incarceration to make me to be the man who I am today. Forever Convict.
Just didn't get cleared to be released, but it was cool. It was dope to walk the yard and see the prison and hang out with the guys there. I didn't go to death row. But one thing too about San Quentin, I know it's a very notorious prison, has a big history, but a lot of people don't realize now that it's really an icon for prison reform. And of course, you know, they, like they said in the video, it's the biggest and the largest death row population in the nation. They got a huge death row, and I didn't know that just till watching this video. I'm not sure if it's 100% true, but I do know they have death row there. But they're real big on prison reform now, so that's great. That's awesome. That's what we need throughout the nation and the prison system. So yeah, man, let's keep watching.
A lot of cell time, dark, kind of parasitic, the environment, and they make up their own rules and changes day to day, and you never know really what's coming, and it's just oppressive.
We have to strip down naked, show ourselves, and then get handcuffed to go anywhere around here. Anytime we step out of our cells.
In San Quentin, there are currently more than 300 prisoners housed on 5 floors in death row. But they won't be here much longer. Death row is dying a death itself.
When you face death, you never know how much you're alive until you face death.
The downside is the not knowing part. You're just here waiting to die. You're just here waiting on a date.
Not everyone at San Quentin is on death row. Soon, nobody will be. Its demise is designed with an emphasis on rehabilitation. Prisoners moved on from here will still have a death sentence, although in reality they'll be serving life without parole. That will only change if there's a reversal in policy. California's governor imposed a moratorium on the death penalty, stating that it was state-sponsored premeditated murder and that ending up here was based more on wealth and race than guilt or innocence.
Being able to learn a new trade.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's dope. So it seems like California is in the process of overturning the death penalty. That's dope. They need to do it all throughout the nation. If I'm not mistaken, I think only a few states have it left. I think it's Florida, Texas, and California, maybe New York. But that'd be dope if they turn it over completely throughout the whole nation. So I know a lot of guys who are on death row, and somehow or another they were able to appeal it and get off of death row. But
I also have a fire HBO style series chronologically going over my prison experience from day one, all throughout my 12 years in prison. But you got to become a member to this channel. If you're on desktop, that's the only way you can do it. If you're on a mobile phone, you got to do it through Safari, or you got to go to your internet app and become a member. Check out a brief clip right here. It's not directly addressing me. It's not directly addressing anybody. He's just saying it loudly about all the new people. And we weren't the only new people who came in that day. There's people who came in before us. But I'm thinking still he's going to be the one that tries me. So he goes and he sits down, and I'm sitting on the bench, and all of a sudden someone approaches me. I'm sitting on the outside of the bench and someone stands right over me.
Crazy feeling, man, to be on death row, especially like you don't even know when they're going to, put you to death, but it's seeing people on the cell block go to be executed and never come back. It's got to be like, dang, that's going to be me. So
Socialize amongst everyone. I think it'll be beneficial. It will basically allow them to start paying back restitution to their victims and taking responsibility for their actions.
I think it's awesome that we're moving. You know what I mean? Getting back into society. I don't think that they're going to continue the death penalty for very much longer, and they're going to have to move us anyways because the system is broke.
I don't want nobody to look at me like I'm some kind of a monster or anything like that. I want to be treated equally like everyone else. I think a lot of laws is being changed. It might give me another chance at life.
About moving on, I think it's good because it's one step closer to getting out. You know what I mean? To getting off death row. From here, we're on death row. We're all just stuck. It's like a warehouse.
This move doesn't chime with everyone. Victims groups have voiced their objections to condemned inmates avoiding execution. It's known here as walking the last mile. In San Quentin, they've gone the greater distance, outlasting a death sentence by outlasting death row. James Matthews, Sky News, on death row in San Quentin.
Yeah, man, that's definitely sad and depressing just watching it, bro. Once again, too, man, I think I normally always naturally take the side of, my fellow convicts just because, all the time I did in prison. But as I always mention, man, some people, of course, do deserve to be in prison. And sometimes I think, I wouldn't say some people deserve the death penalty. I don't think that's the answer. But I know that some people have committed some heinous crimes, and it definitely, you know, there should be penalties in place. But I just don't think that the death penalty is the solution. But it's good to see, man, all the prison reform going throughout the nation. So, yeah, man, I think I'm done for the day, bro. It's kind of depressing watching stuff like this. But once again, too, man, we try to show you the full side of, you know, the experience in prison on this channel. And as I always try to, you know, lean in on the redemption side and focus on the positive, you know, sometimes, you know, with some of these videos, man, I do want to show as well the full side of the story, and not all of it's pretty and not all of it's positive. So it's your boy E.I. the King. Y'all stay tapped in. Till the next time.
If you didn't know, I am a rapper. My artist name is E.I. the King. Check out my music on all streaming platforms. Go to my other YouTube channel, E.I. the King. Check out my music videos. And I'm also releasing a documentary all year. It's really a docu-series. And every Wednesday, I drop a new video. As we've been documenting my transition home from prison and society, from the day of my release, we had a film crew at the gate just documenting my transition home from prison, now in society. Check it out on one of these links above.